Hi all, it's Ollie from Jibtuning again. If you saw our last video tutorial on base cleaning, you know that this time we're going to be covering P-tex repairs, right? Repairing any gouges on your base at all. Now there's two types of P-tex you can buy. We've got candles, comes in black for black bases, clear for clear or coloured bases. And we've got the strips, same again, black for black bases, clear for clear or coloured bases. Before you do any repairs, you want to have a look at what gouges you've got. Before you melt the P-tex in, you want to roughen it up. Give it something for the P-tex to key to. You can use a polish and structuring pad for this, your coarse one. And just rub it in. We're making it nice and furry and giving it something to key to. Or you can use your soldering iron. Just running it down the gouge, opening it up a little bit. The only thing with doing that is it creates a burr. So you want to come back afterwards with a standing blade. And get that burr off before we start. So we're going to use P-tex candles for now. We'll start off with the black. These are really easy to use, you just set them alight. Give it a minute until it starts dripping. One thing, you don't want to get this on your skin. If you get it on your skin, it burns a hell of a lot hotter than candle wax. We're just dripping it onto a metal scraper. The reason why we do that is because it doesn't stick to metal, so we can just scrape it off and use your metal scraper afterwards. So when you're happy it's dripping enough, you just move the scraper over to the gouge and then just start dripping it in. Make sure you cover the whole gouge and it's filling up enough. You don't want to be too close because it won't have time to heat up. You don't want to be too far off of the base because it won't have enough time to heat up. Once you're done, just blow it out. And we're going to move on to clear P-tex, exactly the same again. We just set it on fire. Now obviously before we start doing this, we make sure our bases are clean enough, which we covered in the last tutorial. One thing, this stuff is highly flammable, the base cleaner or wax remover, so you want to make sure it's totally dry before you start any of this. So with the clear candle, same again, we're just going to move it over to the gouge. Start one end, just drip it along. So you're happy with that. And then blow that out. It's as simple as that. Now we're just going to give it a good 40 minutes for that to dry before we start taking it off. And we move on to the P-tex strips. Now the difference with these, if you can see here, where I was using the clear P-tex candle, because we're using a flame to light it, there's a lot of carbon build up and it leaves a real sooty, horrible brown mess in the repair. If you're into speed, it's better to use the candles. If you want a bit of a better finish, move on to the strips. Now the reason why is because we use a flat tip soldering iron. And all you do is you just hold it next to the gouge, create a pool with the soldering iron, and then you just butter it in. And you'll notice I'm getting a lot cleaner repair. Same with the black strips. Onto a black gouge, just heat it up and paste it in. Same again, give that a good 40 minutes or so for it to go off before we scrape it back. Okay, well, I'll move on to one that I done earlier, finishing it off. Using a metal scraper, this is the only thing metal scrapers should be used for. Shouldn't be using it for removing wax. A lot of people, when they're scraping, they like to start one end and work all the way through. If you do that, you're pulling the P-tex out of the gouge. So we start in the middle. We're going to just scrape away from ourselves so that we're pushing the P-tex down as well as taking it off. Once we've got that flat down to the base, we're going to go the other way. And once you're happy that's all the way down to the base, go to your structure and buffing pads again. It's like sanding a table, starting off coarse and working our way down to fine to get a good finish. And you're literally just going to rub it in, smoothing it out, moving down a braid, and down again to your fine. Until you get a nice finish. Pretty simple. Easy as that, anybody can do it. You don't need to be a fully qualified technician to do this. Once you've covered all your gouges and they're all the way flat down to the base, you're ready to move on to waxing or edging. So I'll see you next time. We'll be covering edge tuning. We'll take you through the base edge angles and the side edge angles. I'll see you then.